Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm a very happy Transformers collector today. I just found out that they're actually doing a recolor of Skywarp. Because for the longest time I thought I was going to get stuck with only 5 of the Seekers. Because, I mean, God, it's such a drama with the Seekers. Because I started getting the Classics Generations original G1 characters that were sort of being re-released in modern versions in between like the reissues around 2004, 2005 and the movie figures. We had sort of this little period of a year or two where they were doing a lot of these figures, which were cool, but they were sort of similar to the animated versions, but they weren't really meant to be. They were sort of their own thing, but they sort of pulled on sort of the animated style and stuff like that, and I kind of liked them, but the ones I liked the most were the Seekers, and I had 5 of them. I almost had all 6, but even then it was a problem where Skywarp was an exclusive pack with Ultra Magnus, which was just the white Optimus. And eventually, in order to finish off the set, I got him online because I never bought stuff from eBay back in the day. I only got stuff from stores in person or fairs and stuff like that. So I eventually got it. I had the whole set, and then I see the Voyager scale ones that were basically just scaled up with only a few changes and differences for the War for Cybertron series. And I was like, do I want them? Because there's a lot of other figures that I don't have at all in modern versions. I've got these modern versions I like, they're just a bit too small. So they were like the last thing I sort of was going to get. So eventually it got to the point where I thought, you know what, I'm just going to see if they do a new mold for the Studio series. I'll wait and I'll just get those ones, and I'll skip the War for Cybertron ones, because I didn't like the detail. I thought there was too much detail, they were too complicated, too messy looking, and I wanted them to look more like the cartoon versions. And then along came the Coronation Starscream set, and I thought, oh okay, so they're not doing a new mold for Studio series, they're just going to recolor the War for Cybertron ones. I thought, well, I may as well get them. So I went out and got Dirge and Ramjet and Thrust and Starscream. And then I'm like, well, what about Thundercracker and Skywarp? Where are they? And I'm like, oh, they didn't do them on their own. There's just like a box set of the 2 of them, and it's like $300. I'm like, oh no. So I kept putting it off because there's like 3, 4, 5, 6 other figures I'd rather have for that same $300 than those. So I kept putting it off and putting it off, and I was like, well, what do I do? Do I get it or not? Blah blah blah. And I nearly bought it a couple of times, and then I heard they were re-releasing them in cartoon colors. I'm like, yes, I'll just get those, yay! And then they announced that they were doing Thundercracker in a dramatic capture set with Reflector in the animated cartoon, cartoon colours. I was like, okay, because I don't have Reflector, and the one I remember is a Reflector from the sticker book for the TV series. So I remember them as the cartoon colours, so I'm fine with that. So I thought I'll just get them. But there was no mention of Skywarp, and then they started showing recoloured Thundercracker as a new mold for the Seekers for Studio series. I'm like, you assholes! I was waiting to see if you would do that, and because you released Starscream just as a recolor, I didn't think you were going to do a new mold. So I wouldn't have even started this collection if I'd known they were going to do them. But then when I looked at them, I'm like, it's just a mini Masterverse, and I'm like, sorry, not Masterverse, Masterpiece. I'm like, that doesn't work, because as much as I love on one level they look like the cartoon versions and how amazing it is that the accurate sort of toy sort of vehicle turns into this robot that looks just like the cartoon version, they just are really, the cartoon designs when you see them in real life are just too simplified and too smooth, and they look like toys, they don't look like robots, they don't look real. So I didn't really like them, and I'm like, I've got the Masterpiece ones, I don't want just smaller versions of the Masterpiece ones. And then I started looking at the War for Cybertron ones with new eyes and appreciating the extra detail and all that, and I'm like, damn, what do I do? And then so I just thought, I don't know, do I get the 2-pack? Like, what do I do? I'm going to get stuck with like 2 Thundercrackers, or I'll have to miss Skywarp and just never have a complete set. It was just a nightmare. And then they announced that they're going to release Skywarp as part of the dramatic capture set with the Insecticons. Now with the Insecticons, we're going to get the clear wings on Kickback are going to be grey, Bombshell's going to be grey, and Shrapnel is just going to have a few little changes. And I don't mind having extra Insecticons because in the cartoon they had clones. So I've already got like a busted Kickback that was replaced with a new one, so I've got a spare Kickback, and there's a set that are reissues that are different from the third-party reissues of the originals. So I'm going to get them. So I'm going to end up having 3 sets of G1 Insecticons, the original, the third-party reissues, and the official reissues, which are all different. And I don't mind because clones. And I don't mind having 2 sets of this type because clones. So it's worked out the best way it could have, and I will eventually have recolored Skywarp and Thundercracker in the cartoon colours, along with another set of Insecticons and the reflector set. So it's worked out really well. But until then, I was really anxious about how do I resolve this. I don't want to end up paying a fortune for extras, and I just don't want to get stuck with an incomplete set, because if I start off the Studio Series ones, are they going to finish them? Are they going to give us all 6, or are we just going to get the first 3? Or you never know. So I just didn't want to start a new set. I just want to finish off the old one. I thought I couldn't, and now I can. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the new editions of those figures and so forth.